Window silling, it's an easy pick. And a third one right there. Oh,
Why are you just letting this loose so damn early? Tree blinded with the paranoia still.
Mick standing here with Coach Kaplan after we see the defeat from the side of NRG and Sentinels takes map number 1. Kaplan, I feel like this year has been such a roller coaster. It started off with y'all winning kickoffs and then becoming Masters Madrid champions. And then, of course, stage 1 didn't finish, I'm sure, the way that you would have hoped. What were the biggest learnings coming out of stage 1 as you reset and head into stage 2?
Yeah, it was really hard coming out of stage 1. The meta had been kind of figured out. Everyone saw what we were doing. You know, we've worked so hard to prepare for our previous tournaments, and we just weren't in a spot where we had the time and energy to do that. Learned a lot of lessons about that, but to be honest, I don't even need to apply them because we're in a spot where we got to rest up and prepare a lot again. So just grateful to be back in a situation we've proven ourselves comfortable in.
Well, it's great to see that with this map win. So congratulations again and best of luck on map number 2.
Thank you very much.
Sentinels pick up the win against NRG in map number 1, but NRG made it a fun match, especially toward the beginning there, but Sentinels certainly found their stride, were able to pick up the dub with a 13-8 victory, but it all started out very, very, exactly what we would have wanted, right? Like, we saw the neon, we're like, oh, we're going, hit the go button, and that's literally what happened, Wyatt. It felt as if, they understood the win condition of that comp very well, and they wanted to play that to great effect.
Yeah, this game was all about the pace, and it was set from round 1, the very first pistol, where immediately NRG are going in off that neon, pushing down C mount, pushing out of B so fast. Immediately. Look at Victor's position. We're at 1 minute and 40 seconds into the round, and he's already in the attacker's spawn. That's where Sentinels spawn at. And then on the second half pistol as well, they had another really good play into B here with that dizzy that goes through right there, that little top part above the wall, and then Victor able to capitalize off that with the neon. But that pace that they were dictating really got slowed to a halt when you play against that Cypher deadlock on defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I gotta agree. One of the most enjoyable games I feel like I've watched this year because of how much diversity we had in that. But like you were saying, with the way that they're using the comp, there's also the flip side, and how Sentinels had not only an innovative comp, but also we're playing around and against what NRG has. So I have a round that I want to show that actually shows John QT responding very well. Here, they're immediately starting to realize how the C-mount is, they're still losing it, but they're able to actually really work the map. This is the round where they walk through B, get the flank onto Victor, and just absolutely shut down from there. That sort of thing is recognizing that comp, when they go for the C-mount pressure, they're overextending, right? So B, they just walk right through, get that flank down, and that's the sort of thing that John QT instantly picked up off. And that's really important when you're going up against Finesse, who hasn't lost a beat in the IGLing aspect, I think.
Yeah. Well, and in that IGL role, though, right, you're definitely seeing some great calls being made, but on top of that, though, a recognition of the win conditions on each side of the field here. Did you feel like the compositions, Mel, played out the way that you would have expected it, given how we saw it laid out?
I think so. And we were even talking about how, yes, this comp does, NRG's comp does look attack-sided, but when you look at, the other team's comp, Sen's comp is quite defense-sided with a double Sensi. And we were talking about how, the win conditions, you can focus on your win conditions. But when you get into the game and you see the other team's comp, which you've probably never scrimmed before, it's going to be hard balancing, knowing what their win conditions are and balancing it, how it contradicts to yours, and trying to account for what they're going to play for and what you want to play for. And in the moment, it can be kind of sensory overload, especially when these agents aren't very picked very often. But I think it played out about how we expected in terms of where the comps lie, in terms of what they benefit the most from on the respective side.
Sure. Absolutely. I love the deadlock Cypher. I think it's amazing. It makes it so easy for the defending side, as you could see, to just load up one area of the map with a utility and then focus their effort in regard to stacking players elsewhere. Yeah, the C hits were just a nightmare. I mean, and also all that utility against a neon. I mean, when you're going in fast, you don't have time to be breaking trips, dealing with sonic sensors, all that type stuff. And I think the Cypher deadlock is nuts. I'm all about it.
Wyatt is the biggest fan of this comp. He's been saying it all day. He's wanted every map Cypher deadlock. Cypher deadlock.
It's so good. It's literally so good.
Hey, you never know. That could end up being something you regret down the line, just wanting nothing but Cypher deadlock only. You know?
I don't only want it.
Ah, okay, we changed our
A little bit of variety, but
now
the teams there should be like
variety.
one team playing at minimum, or they're trolling.
Let's go ahead and hear from the coach of NRG to see how the team's going to get back into map 2.
Smick standing here with Coach Chet after that map number 1 loss against Sentinels. The OG squad is back together. Obviously, Sam and FNS back as the in-game leader. In preparation for the beginning of Stage 2, do you feel like you and the team has had enough time to bring that original synergy back? And has that been easier or perhaps even harder than expected to do so?
I mean, I think our synergy has been good. We're just testing a lot of new stuff, especially with the patches. So we're trying to take advantage of like our Neon and kind of like the old style we used to play back in the day with Optic. I think we thrived a lot in fast plays, and we're just going to try to exploit that more on these following maps.
That is very, very exciting to hear. Best of luck on map number 2.
They want to lean back on the stuff that got them to the dance to begin with. And I actually do agree with that. I actually like that mentality. I know you were quite enthusiastic about that as well, Mel.
I was so excited when I saw the Neon because, I mean, like you said, like they were the best when they were innovating. And honestly, we all wanted to see it. And they did come out in the first map doing it. So I can't really complain too much. Like, they tried it. And it has legs. Like, I see what they're trying to do. They're trying to get this fast control off rip to every attack round. Yep. And then they slow it down from there, then decide. And I can respect the fact they're trying to leverage Victor's Neon.
I will say that running that new type of style, which they've had experience with, but in the meta, up against the Cypher Deadlock,
it's hard.
The worst combination to do. Not only figuring out all the stuff that happens with that, but I think it's also maybe potentially a hard counter in the first.
Just a fascinating situation, right? Optic, or rather NRG, going to their comfort, right?
Again on Sunset.
Here we go. We got Neon back again.
No breach this time, though.
Yeah, that is. Well, you know, so you're not going to get a lot of those traps, but instead you're just going to get a lot of movement, right? It seems like that's just their point. That's their game plan. Just push as much as they possibly can.
Ooh, and sticking with the exact same. I mean, they made this comp the meta.
Yeah, that is the set meta comp.
Did they switch breach to KO? Or was there KO before? Either way, like I still think the double initiator makes so much sense with Zekin. They always set him up so well.
Yeah.
I'm not mad about it.
And he's in great form right now too, Zekin.
He looks fantastic.
Well, let's go ahead and find out how this whole thing's going to shape out here. Whether or not we're going to go the distance, well, let's find out and send it back over to your casters. It's Brent Inside Show.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, let's find out if it does go to distance here. I mean, NRG got a lot to answer for, I think, in terms of just what they're going to be capable of doing on Sunset. Sentinels is their map pick, already leading one up in the series as well. They are very well drilled and tested on this map. We've seen them, take wins against very good teams in the past. But NRG, kind of what Chet was talking about in that coach interview, they're just really leaning into the heavy Neon meta, and it showcases, I think, with Victor being your primary duelist, what they used to play way back in the day with this old squad. Yeah. So really just trying to lean into those strengths.
Yeah, and I think it does also lend some justification to putting Demon 1 on the bench, which is a pretty controversial decision. Yeah. Putting the best player of last year onto the bench when he has said himself he didn't want to be there, doesn't want to be there. But NRG have picked up the Heretics comp, and Heretics themselves play this fantastically on Sunset. Do NRG have that kind of coordination?
It's Victor catching the initial contact. Sentinels want nothing to do with it. Immediately you can see them. 180, turning around, slow walking away, now getting a bit of a move on.
Now, normally you would expect to see somebody playing slightly more aggressively at A, so you get earlier information. By the time Som realizes that they're heading in this direction, it may be too little too late to hold on to the site.
He's the flash clear.
He's not calling any rotates yet, though.
I'll see in the
second. When it's the raise, that's instantly going to start to rotate away from B. But I love the fact that Sen have kept 2 lurkers around the rest of the map. It gives them options, but one option just taken away by Victor. The other one, Tens, trying to lurk his way into B right now and telling the rest of the team to come back in that direction too.
30 seconds left.
This is the call now. Sentinels. 4 players up, they go straight through mid, going for the B split. Still from the back, Cam tagged up, taking a moment here to just pull it out of the body. Second, he's eager. Here's the reload. Time really running short. Plenty of players. And a rapid approach through the back of the site now. NRG not wasting any time from this one. Already got access to it. Tens just a classic, even a pre-fire into the smoke, anticipating that second player to move through. Sassy can really do some damage, and more so than that to kill Found. A 2v1 is where Ethan is placed. Almost an impossibility for him to win. Such low HP. Tap, jump spots.
That's a lovely pistol round. But Desk was talking about how map 1 was defined by pace. And I think that's going to apply again here. There's a lot of initiator power coming from Sentinels, but the speed and the set plays are probably going to be coming from NRG. So Sen slowed things down after they put a bit of pressure over towards A and still had those options of going back over to John or Tens. Calling a really nice game there. For NRG, remember, this team has not had a long time together, even though this feels like a core that's been, you know, glued with that permanent chemistry of friendship for a long, long time. Spanning back all the way to CS, right? Not even just in VALORANT. Finesse getting blinded like 5 times there. Is just eating them all. But they are walking into a little bit of a stack. Now, when you watch Heretics, they have tons of really disciplined, like, mid-reclear strategies and stuff like that. But I'm not expecting NRG to have as many because, like I said, they are in a bit more of an experimental early phase right now. Yeah. Despite the fact they've been putting in quite a lot of time over the last month. It's only 1 month.
Yeah, I think this NRG core, despite them existing for a long time, as we've been mentioning, you've got to place those expectations, I think, almost like a next year thing.
I mean, that's
a bit of a crazy thing to say.
I mean, it's a brutal thing to say, but it may well be true. You look at what both these teams are working with here. They're both 3-3 in the regular season, but Sen are in such a better spot just because of all of those championship points. Even if they did beef it in stage 2, they'd probably still make champs. NRG can barely afford to lose a single match, and they've got tough opposition as well. Sen being one of them that they find themselves toe-to-toe with, and Sen looking to pick up a fairly clean second round here.
At the beginning as well of this entire match, I think redemption was the key word for both of these orgs, right? You know, both of them, panic button kind of being hit here by NRG with the changes that they made. You know, Finesse and Som coming back in, looking if they can redeem this year. For Sentinels themselves as well, you know, didn't get to prove themselves on the big stage of Shanghai, but a couple of the players have said, you know, maybe that's to their own benefit. Blessing in disguise that they didn't end up having to, you know, play at another international tournament, reveal more of the strategies, take a bit of a reset, you know?
Certainly.
Let's start this party.
They've had a lot of time to reinvent themselves. We saw that over towards Lotus with them playing an unusual comp. Whoa, early from Victor, but doesn't commit off the back of it. A paranoia as well was just in case somebody was running fast up elbow from Som. So really getting baited out there into thinking that Zekken was scaling super aggro.
Just 2 rounds in a row now where they've seen the Neon presence and Sentinels want nothing to do with it. Now a fast movement up through B, but already plenty of players there. What is that by Tens? Pre-fire into the corner on both. Just expecting that there's going to be a flood attempt coming out by NRG. I wanted to praise the calling that they were stacking out with as many bodies as they were.
Yeah, I mean, the macro understanding is absolutely there. They realized that Sen were coming into B, and they had every player ready for it. But just on the angles that are tucked alongside walls, and bullets find their heads, great prediction. Som's walking down mid. Could he catch a timing here? Make something happen?
Here's the cam. He's looking for it. Finds it. Spots crashes too. The second does onto the entry. Still player disadvantage for NRG.
And Crashies decides not to try to make the hero play. Instead going for a disadvantage retake. Just banking on the fact that they have some smoke to play around. Everybody in B main though, these post plans, they work so often.
Yeah, good luck. That's all you can say really. A tap. Darts revealing at least 2 of them. Flash forwards.
Go, go, go.
The time ticking. Anybody going to be getting themselves onto the spike, seeing if they can isolate some of these fights again. No one has been sticking this spike or putting any pressure onto it this entire time. So finally on it, but he's going to be taken out from the defuse. Fault line there. Crashes now, has to stick this one all the way, and it needs to be defended. Victor is looking in entirely the wrong place. Zelsis comes up huge.
I know. I'm great.
Another big round from Zelsis. following up with his ace from map 1. That's a bonus round conversion from Sentinels too. Those post plants, even if you play the retake perfectly, are so difficult. But look at these opening kills. Okay. I mean, NRG is stuck in a 3v5 to start things off. It was incredible that they managed to pull things back into a winnable situation, or one where Sen had a lot of pressure on them. But if one person had been on that defuse a little earlier, maybe it could have made all the difference.
What the hell is Tens up to? Okay. I mean, I respect it. Here's the all being picked up. Plays inside the smoke. He was anti-flash.
Yeah, dropping down inside there
dropped
one
out
way.
into the one way, so...
It's interesting in interviews that I've been watching from the NRG players, kind of how this even came to be. We've talked a little bit about how these players are all friends, right? And I think NRG have... Chet has even described them in the past as being a bit cliquey in a bad way.
Yeah.
But I think in this situation, it just works so nicely. That is a shot. But can you imagine the humility you need to be able to go back to Finesse as Ethan and say, mate, I thought I could do it, but actually I can't.
It's a hard job.
Can you come back?
Yeah, stepping up to that challenge.
You genuinely need to be such good friends with somebody, I think, to or have absolutely no ego whatsoever to be able to do something like that
30 seconds left.
and not allow your pride to get in the way.
Yeah. Pretty standard utility being used by Sentinels just on this take, and it's a nice and pretty wrapped up anti-eco. Up to 4 now.
This is light work.
Yeah, but to follow
go
on
back
that
to-
from NRG's perspective, Finesse and Som are coming back into a team that has not been set up for success just yet. Obviously, they're coming in to try to save the season, get them over towards champs, but that is going to be a difficult path.
Yeah. That's why I said that. I mean, I feel like these changes they've made, bringing in, you know, Finesse and Som, it has to be like a multi-year thing. I don't think you can expect success into the second half of the year when it's this late them coming in. If they make champs, I mean, great, sure.
They're certainly going to try.
Yeah, but you can't really set your expectations there.
Yeah, Finesse has talked about that as well. He was asked, I think it might have been in an interview with Pedro Romero, like, do you think you can do it? Are you capable of it? And he said, that's the wrong way to think about it. You just have to prove it to yourself step by step every match. Here, looking to play a retake as second showstopper just opens up the whole of the B site. NRG's composition now in another spot where they have to try to use as little utility as possible to take the site back so that they can keep putting pressure B main. And Senna already one step ahead looking for that reflank as Zeltz and John are in mid.
It's John QT, man. The dagger in the dark. Like you said as well, that reflank of Zeltz coming in through. It's being watched for by Finesse, still holding it. Crashes now the fuse onto half as his whole body's sticking this one. What do they have to push this one off? It's only bullets flying forwards and away, but still half gain. Som sticking in and nothing to deny.
Whew. This time, NRG are there. Yes, they lose every player, and their economy is going to be fairly shambolic, actually. It's going to have to be an eco coming out of that one. But the big difference as to why they win the round in that retake is that they got people on spike early. Crashy's managed to almost get the full stick before he got killed. And yeah, the denial of that mid flank coming through as well. But it's a Pyrrhic victory. I mean, look at the... I guess they're going to invest into it, but 3 Guardians?
Yeah, half armor. Don't know how much util they're really able to get pulled together.
It's a must-win round for NRG. Otherwise, their economy really is dire, and they're down 5-1, 6-1. The first half spiraled away at that point.
Deep drone now. In through mid, clearing its way. Sentinels hiding any traces that they were in that spot. John QT just pre-firing. Actually does catch the cam that was heard earlier. So FNS got that deep line into B.
And we aren't seeing the same level of tactical depth that we see from Heretics when they play this comp. You know, none of that mid re-clear, none of the fast set plays, none of really the aggressive re-clear strategies into B main either, but that's to be expected.
Yeah.
Heretics have been scrimming together since October. This team has not.
I think a lot of people will be questioning, you know, when we're making comments like that, right? They're saying, well, this team has been together for a long time in the past. But the trouble is, VALORANT evolves. It's a different game. It doesn't stay in the same state. We've even had a rapid switch up and change up with the patch recently. You might think that's in the favor of a team like NRG, but it's a lot of building back up to make sure the map pool is up to scratch.
Another retake situation. 2 flashes, but no fragment for Ethan.
It's proactivity. It's the name of the game right now for Sentinels. And look at that. Hook line sinker. It's Victor who's going to be caught. Catch to the side. Beautiful flash now with the refight. NRG want to make a go of this one.
And they got to win this round.
Do indeed. The knife forward to the back. Ethan! It's the back of the head that is finally killed and collected. These bullets are flying forwards. Spraying away. Finally toppling them. And like you said, it was a must-win round from NRG. They navigated almost everything pretty damn well.
Yeah, that paranoia that came through from Som was fantastic. I was worried there when he was reloading out on the jump peak, but did a nice job of things. The proactivity was beautiful from Sen, and NRG were a little slow to deal with it. But a paranoia and a recon combo was all they needed to get back in through that spawn angle. Win the round, upgrade all of their rifles, and create a nice little bit of pocket change to work with heading forwards. Now NRG have got 4 players over towards A.
Yeah, this is...
I mean, it looks like we're going to be heading into a time... Oh, no, the timer was paused for a moment there, but not going into the tack.
Flash overhead. Even with that, the stuns. There's a fault line and a reface. Hunter's Fury will not help you out there. There's no one else to really capitalize off of this one, so Sentinels. Advantage gained, and that's just all from playing really slow. Waiting out the util, waiting out the aggression.
This push down mid is quite nice, This push down mid is lovely because they're still trying to deal with Som spamming into that smoke, so they're not thinking about mid here, Sentinels. NRG have taken a lot of space and have still got a lot of information. That B main trip continues to tell NRG.
Oh, crashies. Ah, brutal.
Hops onto the box. Overstepping things maybe just a tad. If he'd allowed the play to go into B, he would have had an awesome timing. And now a 3v5.
Sentinels even realizing themselves. Oh boy, that was intended for 10s, I think, to maybe get that plant online for A, but at least he still has the space and positioning. Cross-map knife. Not giving him anything at all for NRG. Doubled up together.
30 seconds left.
Immaculate aim, as to be expected from 10s.
A spray down just can't quite be completed there for the 2-piece. Sassy. Drop down the spike, spots the last, and it's an easy one onto the IGL. 5-2 now, that scoreline. Sentinels, it is their map pick. To be expected to a degree, I think, as well, that there would be that dominance, but you can really see it, man. I mean, they have a full understanding of the way they want to play this map.
This was a perfect counter to a set play that NRG ran. It's one that we've seen, again, from Heretics, but Sen instantly had a response to it. So a positive in the column for NRG that they have that level of tactical depth that they're now showcasing in a couple of these rounds, but already Sen were prepped and ready for it, and Celsius breach utility just shut that one down. Almost a little too easy compared to the chaos that we had on Lotus. The crowd here, mostly Sentinels fans, but fairly subdued. Just kind of a sense of contentedness, perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, enjoying the show, right?
Yeah, 5-2 up. Everything feeling like it's in control of Sen. NRG with a couple rounds that they strung together, but nothing really concrete to work around.
Yeah. Nothing really crazy.
And just to think about things from Sen's point of view, obviously NRG are the ones that have made the explosive change and hit the panic button.
Yeah.
Sen would have wanted to go to Shanghai. They wanted to be there. John said it was devastating to have to watch in Shanghai and not be able to play. It was itching to play. But like you said, it's allowed them a little bit of free space to work on themselves. And after Madrid, they said that they felt like other teams caught up to them. They didn't have the time to work on themselves.
Yeah.
And so there's a good reason why Sen were favored in this match. Although, like the desk was saying, there were so many unknowns because of the gap.
The gap and a patch change.
You know, you're never confident.
Haven back in, for example, even though he got first banned by NRG.
I know, Finesse first round banning Haven. I didn't think I would see the day.
No.
Hopefully, just for the fans' sake, that's not a permaban for the rest of the stage, because I'd love to see him call on that.
Haven being played, man.
Yeah. But Zen playing slowly here, looking to try to feel out what the defensive setup is. NRG had stacked 3-4 players over towards the A site, and now they've just left Finesse to kind of hold it.
Yeah.
They might have assumed that Sen were going to run a fast play over in that direction. And since it didn't happen at the beginning, now spreading back out a little bit.
This might be a crazy comment from me, but I mean, FNS's position, it feels very committal into the site. He's really got to get something done here. His trips not really able to play off of them. He's just holding the cam for any sort of contact.
Yeah, I think it's... I mean, he's got a cage to play around, but I think it's quite likely Zekken would pre-fire that spot if he tried to pop it. So he's probably dead. Maybe can take one with him if Zekken does decide to showstopper exec into A.
We're down to 30 seconds, Josh, and guess what?
30 seconds
a lot of
left.
NRG players now looking at this B split. Sentinels, options that they even have. I mean, there's no signs of life anywhere. Sentinels are left really just scratching their heads. They're wondering which side is going to be free. Showstopper has to be used, and that's an ult command to answer it. So Ethan, he can quickly rip away that ult advantage, but it doesn't stop the gun. Bullets flying straight forwards. Paranoia dodged and avoided. Still tagged up. Zekken close to the pillar. He's got his teammates to back him up now. Side to side, shoulder to shoulder with the Paranoia forwards. That is pure proactivity. There's absolutely nobody that can match this guy's freak.
Finesse is on the other side of the map, by the way, because there was a long-range 0 point. The knife from Ethan found John Cutie in elbow. And so Finesse still thinks that John is lurking, ready to stop him on the rotate. So they just had to run that retake without their Cypher. Tragic situation.
Yeah.
And Celsius
he stood up.
staring across. I think he knows what they just did. Another situation, Bren, though, where NRG actually have the read on where to stack. The site that Sen are going to hit. Like, the defensive info play is actually working quite well. But their ability to get in and put pressure on Sentinels, it's just not quite there. Zekken found the perfect timing just as Victor was getting his arms into sprint mode. And NRG's economy ruined again here. This is looking very dominant on Sunset.
Yeah, super dominant. The Sentinels straight back into the swing of things here into stage 2. Talked about whole team really looking for a chance to, you know, get the right footing underneath them. I think for teams like Sentinels, where they took the off-season so seriously, full practice, full intention of actually winning something for once. They finally win Madrid. Victor, I can eat my words now, going into storytelling mode, but okay, eventually players toppling, containing themselves against the anti-eco. But it's difficult, I think, for a winning team that puts the full focus to really get back into the mode and the mindset of trying to win again. That's why the Sentinels players have spoken about how good the break has been for them.
Thanks, little man.
Absolutely.
Getting back into that right mindset.
And while Sen are somewhat expected to be able to make champs, and a lot of people in Americas are looking at them as, you know, one of the favored teams to go and represent Americas, despite the fact they didn't earn the right for Shanghai. On the other side of things, on the flip side for NRG, they're like the outside shot that's really got a massive uphill battle to even get into that position. And I know that we've been shooting a lot of bail for NRG on this map. It's not competitive, what we're watching. No, it really isn't. And again, you should expect that because NRG have not been together as a roster for that long, and this is not their map pick as well. So it's probably not where they put as much time in. But for all of the caveats that you can add into the expectations for this team, the reality of it is, they can really only drop like one match in stage 2.
Yeah.
If they lose here to Sen, and then they lose another game against any of the competition they're going up against, it's devastating for their chances. It essentially rules them out. You know, maybe not mathematically just yet, but it probably will in the long run. So this team's in a spot where they gotta pick their game up super fast.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Crash is there. Trip. Okay. Slight connection, but no one to punish.
And once again, 3 players over towards B, but not choosing to actually put any pressure on the Sen players. Now getting into back sights.
Oh, man! Just can't stop him. Victor seek to do some damage. At least the trade onto Zekken, but not much more for it.
Spike planted.
The retake timing there It's a single flash from Ethan that Crashies tries to swing with, doesn't wait for Victor. And Sen, once more, winning a dominant round where they get the site for free, navigate past the Cypher utility, and then easily deal with a pretty sloppy retake. And that's been the story of this map so far.
Yeah, it's been pried open, I think, at this point. NRG being tested in that aspect of their gameplay. They haven't been up to scratch.
The coordination and how tight they are just isn't quite there to run a composition like this that relies on everything being in the right place at the right time. When you watch the top teams play with this kind of comp, every T is crossed, every I is dotted. And that is really difficult when you don't have time.
Just to be taken. Victor lurking his way up forwards. That was the ult earned just from that orb. Picked up. FNS will not be able to anchor. ADS battle. Zek and just tucking. Dodging his head now out of the danger zone. Still tagged up, and Ethan will finally punish. Still, Victor from behind. Here's the stun. Rebounds, expecting that one. And a glide and a dash. Not much more past it. Celsius earned his way back up now to this rolling thunder. Full connection. Up into the air. Still it's a 1v2. There is a lot to do. Zelsis hearing a tap, a couple of spray, reveals his position. Zom wins this fight out. It's an important one. Nobody's still sticking this one. He realizes that you can play your time now, Zelsis. You can really slow this one down if you so wish. 6 bullets left in the chamber. What can you do with it? Ethan sticking, twisting, turning. Not enough for no way!
Devastating clutch that Zelsis rips away from NRG. He toyed with them there. I can't believe how much value he's getting out of the Sen Classic though again. I mean, he finished the ace with the Sen Classic on map 1 and pulls it out to do the dirty work again for Ethan's head. While Ethan's just spinning, desperate, helpless on the floor. Like a beetle flipped onto its back. And NRG, the buy is not looking pretty heading into round 12. It's rough. And I think it's unfortunate that it's a fair likelihood we might not even get to see very much of them on the attack side to get to answer that question about whether they look better there. Because at the moment, it's just all Sen all the way.
Okay.
They're looking primed and ready to take that 10th round. In the first half of Sunset. There is no opposition to push them away from elbow. It's a refight, flash over the top as well with the gliding. I mean, it's just, feels improv-y really at best there from NRG. They're looking for a way to get back into this round. Ethan, very committed now onto this corner. Tucks his way deep onto the side with a knife at least. Seeing that there's 3 players there, he's got his back to plenty of them. Ten's going walkabouts. Crashies an important kill for him to collect. Ethan, no. What is that? Somehow they want to make it work and make it happen for them. 1 now to stand here. This final round of the half. Hunter's Fury right on time. 9-3 finish, but what can NRG do with it?
Switching sides.
All right, we're going to get a replay towards the end of this half, and I hope it's what Ethan was able to pull out towards the end there. How did he get 2 with the Guardian to make this one in any sense salvageable? Sassy with some lovely shooting to open things up, but this is what we missed. Oh, lovely timing onto Sassy and John. Is 3 enough? I mean, I don't think so.
And that is the big question, isn't it? Is 3 enough for them? The attack side calling has been better, as evidence from Lotus, but we'll send it down to the desk and see what they think.
Sentinels looking outstanding on Sunset, which, you know, when you really think about it, I mean, that is kind of Sentinels' whole MO. This is a great map for them, and you know, the NRG are learning why today, Wyatt.
Yeah, absolutely. They were playing phenomenal rounds when it came down to countering what NRG were attempting to do with some of the aggression, which there really wasn't a ton of it from them. They weren't going down mid, they weren't getting that aggro in B main. But yeah, they did a great job countering some of the aggression and then also in some of their post plays. They were just fantastic. This was a round where Victor had pushed all the way down A and had gotten killed, which was just a nice counter from Sen. They baited him in, stunned him, went out that round, which was nice. And this post play here from Zekken was just incredible. Look at the flashes coming in, though, from his teammates to set him up there. His movement in that moment was amazing.
The sync from him and Tens is unbelievable. They move so well together. The timing is phenomenal. On that map in particular, like, I honestly felt like he was the guy playing Neon with how fast he was moving.
For real. I mean, he was zipping around the map there, Mel. But, you know, I mean, brings up a great point, right? We're not seeing NRG play their comp to their advantage, but now we're swapping over to the attack side here. Is there a potential change that you could maybe implement here, especially that you have Neon?
I feel like it's a little hard to play as fast as they did the first map because they don't have that breach to like supplement the Neon. And with Neon only having one stun now, just kind of sending Victor to just go hopefully get some map control with that singular stun is a bit far-fetched, to be honest. I feel like Sen has a pretty good hold in this game, and I'd have to see something crazy from NRG to have any hope in that.
I will say I felt like the strat book was a little shy of big for NRG on that defensive half. I think it'll be much easier for Finesse, who hasn't called on this map in an official yet, to have a bigger idea of what to do here.
Well, let's send it back over to Brendan's sideshow to see how this one ends.
Yeah, kind of mirroring the thoughts, I think, of Mel there, where you're going to have to see some sort of miracle, I think, from NRG to come back into this one.
It's a very interesting point as well from Martin. Finesse hasn't called on this map. You know, it's a new one for this year.
Yeah.
So this is going to be the debut. But he's been a great caller on attack sides in general. I think he's got a very good way of thinking about the game. But that doesn't mean he's going to be able to dig you out of a 9-3 hole every time. I know he's famous for once telling the team, just get me 3 and I'll win you the attack side, but you know, that's very map specific. Victor, though, has got a lot of space here. It's a slow round. NRG making it feel like it's heading in a different direction. And now make the pivot through market.
Need a defeat. Sure that they can't really follow up from this one. Zekken getting tagged up. He has to give up that space for the paranoia. Forwards and flying. Still Sentinels. They have that advantage. They're still holding on to it. Cannot win these fights out, NRG. Trying their hardest, try as they may. Still, Sentinels never, ever really taking these solo fights. Always doubled up, always with an advantage.
Standing ahead
in some way or form, and Crashies is left to pick up the pieces.
Look at how Sen also got their players into the site to actually challenge NRG as they went for the hit. That's not at all the way that NRG were playing when they were on defense. They were passive, a little scared, sat over by Boba. Not willing to throw that utility in and flood defenders often.
30 seconds
Crashies essentially in an unwinnable spot here. The rest of the team is just going to be sat silent, realizing that this is not the beginning they wanted to stage 2. And the record likely to be going 3 and 4. Sassy picks it up. And 10-3 the scoreline. Sen dominance on Sunset. Look at the way that they play the defense, right? They're using the paranoia early. They're using the flash early as well, the Dizzy, to get in through Boba. Not playing for full retake, playing to help John when he's anchored in that position, and playing to put pressure on the attackers. NRG are forced to force.
You have to, really, at this point. Stingers, a Sheriff maybe, half armor at play. Full mid control. And actually going to be given a lot of space here, but just gliding forwards. Trip was dealt with. Still John QT. He's eager. Draw blood straight from NRG. Flash dodge just from the smoke there. Still Ethan. There's a collection. There's a double face by the Sentinels players, but they're going to be toppled for their mistake now. It's a 3v3. Signature moves being made by NRG as well, calling for that pause around that minute mark. They've got plenty of time to work with, but their backs are towards the one angle where Tens decided to just go walkabouts, man. And now you can hear it with the footsteps. It pointed directly towards the easiest kill of his life. Now it's 11-3.
And the Force even not finding value for NRG. A tragic spot. They might have to buy up again with odds and ends. as they realize the inevitable is happening. I mean, Sunset is definitely going the way of Sen at this point. It's an inexorable tide of rounds headed towards Sen. You can see Finesse knows it. They're going to take that tag timeout.
Yeah.
Just to look forwards towards the future as well here as we head towards what looks like the end of this match. NRG, it does not get any easier for them. Their upcoming schedule sees them face it off against G2, the team that got furthest out of all of the Americas teams at Shanghai. Then playing against Crew, who, I mean, maybe Finesse will think that that's an easy game, because back when he was playing, that team was 0-9, but this year,
those slouches.
And while obviously Finesse has been co-streaming them, Crew are looking really strong.
Yeah.
And then finishing off the season with a game against Cloud9, who, you know, up and down, but when they're up are a dangerous team to play against as well. So, and a reminder that NRG can barely afford to drop
a series.
Matches.
Yeah, they can't afford to really drop a series. So
after this.
It's why I kind of went into this entire match, which sounds odd, but just thinking about, okay, this has to be, if you're making a decision like this, you're hitting a panic button. A multi-year decision, right? Surely.
Maybe.
Surely, right? You're just trying to build up chemistry, you're trying to build up the map pool, look towards the future. It sounds odd, but
Yeah, I
when
mean,
the chances were so slim anyway.
They've gone for chemistry in the short term because they thought that that was the better option. It is, I think, inarguably a downgrade in firepower for this NRG team.
Yeah.
Having Demon One on the bench and Marv cut, but they were hoping that the extra coordination and chemistry would allow players to shine. And there's
Quite
Victor
nice.
with the Bulldog, applying
the stun,
tons
man.
of pressure.
Yeah. That's a lovely one. Applied onto Zekken, so he was just a sitting duck. Victor wants a few more. Lovely flash!
This is what you need to see, that coordination between Victor and Ethan.
Yeah, he's feeling it.
Get the ace.
He's locked in. Pops the ult. He can hear him. The footsteps. Karen away. Jump 15. He won't give him anything.
Oh, not the investment of the ult and still not getting the ace. All right. 11-4 the score then. NRG still with some fight in them.
No more men.
Of course, it's that same opponents, by the way, because these teams are in the same group for Sen. A different order, obviously, but all of the points that I was just making about things being difficult for NRG towards the future, they still do apply to Sentinels. The thing with Sen, though, is they have that amazing cushion of all the championship points that they've got.
Exactly.
By doing so well at the start of the year, that victory in Madrid, having such fantastic repercussions later on down the year.
Delay with the fault line here. Does the Sentinels just for that refight? Hoping that there would be a player sitting out wide, out of position.
Tens up on top of the newsstand.
Whoa. Who's going to be spotting who first? Not too sure how the angle works out. Victor, he's got the advantage.
Yeah, he's further away, which means that he's able to spot the toes there of Tens, despite the fact it looks like Tens is going to see him first. A flash here should pop Zekken off the angle, but he's going to quickly be able to recontest if he wanted to. Sen are incentivized to take more risks, I should say, in this spot.
Flash and a dart. Hello. You're caught into the corner. That is disgusting stuff. Victor can't adjust his aim in time, though, but a paranoia is good and true. Lands it along with the flash. There's waves of util. They still haven't removed Sassy, though. Over the top. That's the Dizzy. Running and gunning gets the job done.
This is looking nice from NRG. They've actually got some really good plans to set up Victor on this A site. It's going to require some adjustment from Sentinels. 7 rounds in the lead right now, but if they don't make the adjustments, it's going to get a little tighter. And their economy is not in an amazing spot here.
Yeah, Sentinels forced to save.
Yeah, they might look to try to play for some exits or upgrade this Guardian, but all of the guns pretty far away. The coordination that was lacking a little bit on their defensive side and on the retakes, maybe just a lack of preparation on one half of the map, because so far I've been fairly impressed once the sides have swapped with the way that Ethan and Victor are playing off each other.
That's pretty nice, actually. Dynamic duo.
But that's the kind of synergy you need to be present all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, the game is just so tactically deep right now. When people are having this conversation in the community about the level of play, you know, now compared to in the past, when that former EG squad, the champions of last year, were syncing up tons of different ult plays all over, I feel like the tactical depth of just the rounds, even without the ults, has skyrocketed this year.
Yeah.
So many teams with so many micro plays. And that's the kind of stuff you need to build into the playbook. Normally, it takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
NRG are going to have to speedrun that, and it looks like they've got a decent basis on the attack side. Like we said, Sen going to have to adjust, and they're taking attack timeout to figure out what to do about this.
Because despite the lead that they've got, 11-5, it can slip out of your hands, especially when the money situation looks a little bit rough now. And NRG have some veterans on that team. You know, for all we're talking about them not really having quite the map depth as of now, because they haven't had a lot of time, they definitely know how to come back from a map here and there. They've definitely done it themselves.
Yeah.
From time to time.
Yeah, they've got good mentality on this team, generally speaking. It did look like they were a little dejected and thought they were out of it, but these last couple of rounds might have revitalized the spirit. For Sen, an adjustment that they can try to make, if you run 10s over towards elbow, you can get a nice paranoia anytime the Neon decides to go aggressive, which I think is a pretty good counter. You don't have to throw the paranoia unless the Neon is in your face, so you're not going to waste that piece of utility. We've seen Leviathan run a setup a bit like that with their defensive protocol that King runs. But it's an eco round here, so that attack timeout not really going to be for what they go for this round. Looking to try to apply some pressure, though, with a bit of a retake here. Nade.
Does he need a nade? Yep. It's as soon as...
Okay! Fed into the blender!
Yeah, all right.
Zekken and Sassy turned into mulch to feed the roses. I mean, no chances there.
That's a cheeky idea that was cooked up, though, by Sen on the eco. Didn't work to fruition. And everybody's going walkabouts, obviously, seeking to make a play. Hello, Tens. Is anyone going to be watching this one?
He's got another trip.
Yeah.
Go on, do the limbo under that as well.
I don't think it's going to work that time.
Go on, give it a try. Give it a try. Get under it.
There's no shot. There's no shot. There's no. This is going to be heard.
Finesse.
Finesse. Oh, okay.
All good. All good.
All good. John, I think, meant to go into the cam there potentially, not too sure, but fires away a shot, reveals himself. Tom whips out a gun just in time. That was a strange one.
That's a lovely, silly round there.
Yeah.
Lovely, silly round.
Block it out, Omen.
All right, so the tactical timeout probably to make an adjustment for this, round 18. And we see an op in the hands of 10s. So I was talking about putting 10s over in elbow. You start the round with paranoia prepped. Not throwing it off rip, but just holding it. But it looks like instead they want to post him up with an operator. I think that's going to be tough against this team comp. He is in elbow. So what are they looking to do here? Just play him supportively with the op?
Yeah, looks like it. Maybe debate and switch. That can be in debate.
Yeah. And the paranoia just kind of thrown out there.
Yeah, I think it's because Zekken was tagged up by the knife, so we couldn't use the second satchel to get out. They were worried about them following up on it, but are they going to expect this cage up? It's nice. It's real nice, actually. TP backs away. Zekken still committed. There needs to be a shot found, but no connection again. This time Zekken falls. Tens with the reposition. Nice and quick onto this one.
What on earth?
Lots of players, though, going to be hitting him.
He's got to hit some outrageous shots here.
Yep, onto the shoulder! And he misses it. Straight through the wall. Lucky to be alive is F&S.
Everybody's here.
Yeah,
Everybody's here.
Everybody, make sure to meet them. Clearing that one with the aftershock. Forwards, trying to make a play. Another flash peek, and the reclear is just immaculate. Still, all bodies lining up now for these anchoring players. Tucked to the corner. Celsius last alive, and the most to do. 4 bullets left. He needs to connect at least a few, and the pre-fire from Crashies will earn themselves a second or 7th round, I should say, for NRG. They are steadily, slowly but steadily, earning their way back into it.
You might have been able to tell from the puzzle in my voice when I was talking about 10s with the op in that round, but I genuinely think that was a horrible decision. To run 10s with an operator in counter to this play, to me, it just makes no sense.
Yeah.
They're playing with a lot of pace. They have a large amount of utility to push you off angles, including stuns, cages. You've ruined your own economy now as well because you had to buy down so much in that round. To me, that makes absolutely no sense the way that Sen adjusted out of that tag timeout. And I think they've just opened the door for NRG. That's a baffling one.
Yeah, business is booming right now for NRG. If you look at the money situation and the off angle by Tens, getting not rewarded. That's shock dart!
What a shocky.
That's pinpoint. How the hell did he land that one? Right on the Tens, but he was trying to go for the evacuation. Dizzy not pre-fire it though, and that does find it. Stun, nade. And Victor, he's not long for this world. Surely not. What? With the movement, Sassy, he's somehow in there getting 2. But there's 2 left to stand. There's no way to Sen do this. You're gonna be joking me. Rolling Thunder, pushing back. Crashies, he stands up. Second. Sky, the way he moves, is just fluid in action. Sticking now. Zelsis needs to be held, needs to be defended. It's Second who takes the fight to them.
He's been an absolute monster today, hasn't he? Gets them to the 12th round. 5 health.
There's no way they win that.
This should have been the turning point for NRG to make the comeback a reality. Sassy gets in, nobody looking at him at all. And then Zekken cleans things up on 5 health, empowered by the Rolling Thunder. That's ridiculous. Zekken's monstrous performance on Lotus carried through massively in the first half and delivered there in round 19.
No time wasted for Victor. Jump spots those good.
They're still doing the operator setup. Oh, but the stun misses this time. And Tens this time able to reposition into a spot where maybe he can have more success.
That's a spawn. That's a one-way smoke that they've used to try and get themselves in. I think they expected Tens to be up on top of it. Flash. And forwards. That's Victor. But again, the smoke, it doesn't block him off from the angle. And this is the impetus. The rounder really matters. Victor. Matters into his own hands here with a Hunter's Fury. Maybe they can set the stage. Spike's been picked up. When the hell are they going to start to plan this one? But it's hot feet for John QT. The rocket is dodged. Second, glide and dash and slide away. To Thrash as well. Detainment not in sight.
He's dodging everything.
And Orders Util being baited out. Still about 50 seconds left. Still crashes on a lurk. Has been caught and found. And the TP reposition of Som. He wants to try and make his way over towards B. Easy access to the site.
Victor's got 9 lives in this round. He's dodged everything that was coming at him.
It's on 150 health still.
Yeah. But at the same time, still has a difficult task to do. Combined HP, tiny for Zelsis and Zekken. Can Victor find the timing?
A lot of lives onto this one, Victor. That's a freebie. And now they know you're positioning still into this 2v2, and this is the map, and this is the series doubled up. Shoulder to shoulder, Sentinels now going to take this one with a bit of that discipline. The Mosh flying, Som finds it. And they've earned themselves more breathing room.
What a star Victor has been on this attack side. Really leaning into his experience on Neon. But the agent has changed very recently. Look at this movement. Getting up onto John, dodges Thrash, dodges the showstopper with some of the cleanest moves. The backward slide making full use of the added mobility now onto Neon. And he's now overtaken Zekken in terms of kills.
Yeah.
We talked about no individual really stepping up on NRG, and I think that was accurate for the first 3 halves of this match. Across Lotus, and then on the defense side of Sunset, nobody on NRG was really finding that magic. But this time, Victor, empowered by a lot of the utility and finding these individual moments, is starting to really bring it when his team needs to make a comeback a reality.
Got to keep it going, at least for 4 more rounds. Drag your way over towards OT. It's a last timeout being taken by Sentinels, the last one here at regular time in Sunset.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, Tens did run the operator again. He got 1 kill with it. More passive reposition, but then just got run over by Victor in that round.
Yeah.
I don't think that has legs. I don't see really why you would opt for it. I'd like to see him just pick up the rifle. But of course, in this round, he's one of the only players that can pick up a rifle because the economy is once again in shambles for Sen. Can NRG make this a reality and take us to OT? It would be a ludicrous one. Surely they have to stumble at some point. There's just too many chances for one player on Sen.
That's what I mean. 4 rounds, right?
Something big, yeah.
Exactly. Even on rounds like this where it's thrifty weaponry, or at least on the 3 of them, just the pistols, but you just never know.
Yeah, all it takes is one big mistake on NRG's side or one huge play on the other. And Sen are always incentivized on these eco rounds to take risks, to gamble, to push, for example, John Cutie up into B main and try to catch somebody slipping.
I got you.
Surely to hear that one, yeah. It's going to be Dizzy receive. Finesse, though, was the one to contain this kill. Crosshair placement, little bit ajar. Still NRG are the ones who are following up with these kills. Did he expect John QT?
No, they certainly didn't over towards B main, and now John's going to be able to get a rifle. Tens as well. He's actually going to make this one very doable. A 3v3 with rifles all across the board.
Yeah. Weaponry no longer really a problem here. The positioning
they have
is
no space.
No, they're all just cowering essentially into the back of the site. They have to really brute force their way and make some space. If you are NRG, if you want to stand a chance. One spotted, Paranoia. Only the one sweeping through. Tens, he has a knife out. And some. Nice little transfer.
That's actually sick from Som. He jumped over the top of Ten's flash in order to make that a reality. And John's got it all to do, but I think this one's just too much. The time not in his favor either.
Led away entirely here, so consolation prize with the kills. It's a 9th round now for NRG.
And you've got to imagine that NRG are going to head back to A, right? All of their rifle rounds, they've been finding success with Victor entering on the A side. So what is Sentinels going to do about that? You've got to have an answer. You've taken 2 tack timeouts now to fend off this comeback.
One enemy remaining.
And still can't figure out
3 out of
how
5.
best to stop Victor's entrying. So we're going to see a 4-player stack. I mean, if in doubt, just throw bodies in that direction, I suppose.
The read from NRG is just sublime.
Is Finesse back? Kind of looking like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is really nice. Coming into a rifle round, you expect Sen to have made the adaptation, and he's so correct.
What a read. What call. Victor's going to plant his feet in through the back of the site. So you can see if he can pull some of that util out, maybe get a cheeky kill inside the smoke.
Cage triggered.
Yeah, you either force utility out, that then your players in B main have a better time, or they don't use the util, trying to save it, and maybe you get some freebies, as he has done here.
He's really being pressured. One untraded, the one and done.
Finesse on the reflank, through market.
That's going to be a big one. Utils flying forwards. His door needs to be broken, and so he has revealed himself here finally. John QT, no way, sticking. Half defended, second forwards, it's broken. The flank, push back, still half. Can still be one, but again, they got a damage, and the least land the kill, and they do.
Thinnest drop, man. Thinnest of margins. NRG finding their way through it again, though. Winning 7 out of the last 8 rounds. A superb comeback. I mean, Victor's really stepped up. Finesse calling a great adaptation there in that round. And also playing their B main post plants fairly well. Or having that extra layer of Finesse going on the flank. This attack side is looking so much better than their defense side.
Yeah.
And mostly just looking like more prep, more comfort there. I really didn't believe the idea of just give me 3 and Finesse is going to call the rest to success, but hey, maybe it's a reality. They only need 2 more. Again, another hit onto B, thinking, reading the mind game. Sen are like, surely they'll go A this time. Nope, another B exec. Another excellent read from Finesse.
That has to be the full retake from Sentinels.
It's the exact same round. Finesse in the same position. Victor deep onto site.
Yeah. Not cleared, though, from the deep hole, the 10s.
I mean, that is everybody suppressed.
Oh, my goodness. Flash. No attempt to punish. He still wants to go for this one. The movement ajar from Sassy. But the wingman still active into the fight. Trying to get onto this one. The fuse disrupted and broken. Mosh pit found. The kills are flowing. The feed is built up. Towards some. The fuse broken. Another bullets. Sentinels.
I don't think
time.
They don't have
it enough. Oh my goodness.
That's That's ridiculous. God, Son played that so nicely. Ethan is a little distraction on the floor. Son up on top inside of his own smoke. I was really worried there. NRG played the same setup. Victor got dealt with. Finesse instantly read on his mid lurk, and I thought it's curtains, it's over. Sen understand what's happening, but no, here we are, round 24, and again, NRG changing things up, but this time Sentinels are ready. Is the adaptation here? Can they stop the hit on A?
Second revealed, he's close quarters though with the judge, and still can't land it. It's Victor, reigns supreme into the elbow area. Wall propped up. Covers a bit of that space here, but what is the call now for NRG? Pause and patience to be played. Sassy re-exploration on his side of things. No punish inside. Celsius defends. Now they're going to run this one around with a thrash. Detainment. At least onto the one. And the kill is flowing either way. Spike dropped down. It's a 2v2 for the deciding round. Is the series wrapped up? Now we're going to OT.
That is great information from Finesse. He pops his ultimate, realizes that the retake is nowhere near, so they have a free plant, free reposition. But now we're going to see John with one on the other side. So if John has the opportunity, it doesn't look like there's really a corpse for him to use, though. And a doubler, trying to put pressure.
Both sides.
There it is. There's the info.
He lobs it with a NeuroFF, gives them prime information with the flash. It's a great connection. Som needs to stay alive, jiggling with the movement again. Him and Som, and Finesse together, combined, and that is OT.
The co-streamers bring things into round 25. I mean, that is fabulous. What on earth have we just watched?
Yeah, I mean, they know how to put on a show, man.
I can't believe that they brought this back from a 9-3 half and, what, 11-4 down?
Insanity.
Might have been 11-3 at one point as well. I can't even remember what the depths of this were. It was so unlikely. But Finesse has constantly called the correct site to go to, always dodging where the like heavy resistance is. And Sen just cannot stop that Victor hit through A. The stun on one side, the recon being thrown, a flash, and he's just got free pickings. He's also, by the way, perfectly utilizing his accuracy while sliding. He has owned Zekken multiple times by sliding through, and it looks, if you're thinking about it as if it was on the old patch, you're thinking, how's he hitting this? He's so lucky, this is ridiculous, but...
Perfectly accurate.
He's perfectly accurate.
Yeah.
He's dominating.
12, man. You get a refresher now with the timeout. NRG quick to capitalize. Because they know they can't let this slip. They've pulled off, frankly, the impossible.
It should have been. And I think Sen's flirting with the operator was a disaster to open the door for NRG. Hate to bring it back to that, but I think that was the wrong adaptation for sure. And speaking of the operator, Victor is going to be bringing it out here on the defense side. The opping Neon, a very different flavor. So NRG, the defense did not look very strong. It wasn't very tactically deep, but they're going to throw something in there that doesn't really rely on the tactics. Pure surprise factor. Finesse there just looking to break the cam. This is such a dangerous piece.
So dangerous! She gets out, man! 30 HP! That's daylight robbery.
Drop the spike.
Yeah, the Neon should not be able to escape there. Remember, he didn't even have armor. And now Sen, without Sassy, how do you get into these sites? You're losing a lot of your powerful initiator utility. And Finesse now is not playing to anchor these sites super heavily. Normally he was playing, you know, like heavy A with double kill trips and the cam. He's actually playing really spread for information. So NRG are not, they don't have to go aggressive in this round. They can just play the advantage and all of that info from the trips and the cam. A stun to push somebody off that aggressive A angle, but that is not where
they're on an off angle.
It's a
high-low off angle. It's a high-low off angle. Zekken almost punished even with the movement. That slight jiggle, barely alive.
I think
full rotation and wraparound.
I mean, they've got a great read here, though. The fact that that flash goes through, but there's no follow-up, Crashies and Som are just telling Finesse, like, mate, it's definitely not here. It is 100% not heading A. Get ready.
So the stack is ready to meet them. Already the cage dropped up in front of them. Ethan, underhanded with the flash. Realizes they've already got themselves into the site here with only 9 seconds to go. How did they even get a foothold to get the plant down? Sentinels. It's desperation. They've got to try and hold it down, and they do just that. It's a 3v2 now. In the blink of an eye, Crashies dancing with death itself there. Stun, popped up. This is up to Som. Aftershock. Perfect. Just about lands here, pushes it away for the first wave. Another tap from Som, but it's going to be the double face to end that round. The favorite of Sentinels, man, a 13-12.
NRG continue to have troubles defending over towards B. We were saying it's weird that they're not trying to play for the flood defend. It's weird that they keep having to play retake and scared over towards Bova. Well, this round, they step up. They try to fight on site, but the coordination's not quite there, and they end up just getting torn to pieces by Sen. And maybe that lack of confidence of being able to play those hard anchor defenses kind of indicated that they were just playing full retake. All right, now Sen with a chance, another opportunity to close this one out. They've had many of them.
Let's see if they can step up to it. Victor. Many liberties being taken with this guy. It's positioning up top section of mid.
It's drawn so many people, but there's no one really to exploit that elsewhere.
They're in the smoke. They're right at his back. And all the players on the wiser! Everybody falls! One left to stand, but Crashies cannot do it!
The beautiful comeback ended very quickly in overtime. They put on a show, a brilliant map 1, a thrilling map 2, but Sen closed the door. I think NRG fans should be feeling pretty decent about what they witnessed, honestly, weirdly enough on Sunset, because that attack side did look good, caused a lot of problems for Sentinels, but NRG have got a tough road ahead. The competition's stiff, they don't have much time, they can't afford to drop many other matches. But on the flip side, Sen had so many good showings there, closed things out cleanly in overtime. I think their fans will also be feeling pretty good about a 2-0. Looking forward to rejuvenating themselves and heading towards Chaps. The road to Chaps started here.
It's not long away, is it? Oh, this really condensed schedule that we've got. I mean, what, 5 weeks away, I think?
Yeah.
Play stage 2, but on the other end of it, Soul will be in the goal.
300 ACS, by the way, from Zekken in map 2, after he dropped about the same, maybe even more over towards Lotus. He did dominate. But also, Victor stepped up and gave a good challenge in terms of who was the best player on Sunset.
Yeah, matched as free.
Stop, please. You are being a naughty girl right now.
He did.
All right. Yeah, he really did, though. And I think that's what you're looking for, especially for this team that has put, again, the best player of 2023, Demon 1, is on the bench for NRG. You need that firepower to come from other places. And Victor, though we're looking at him forlorn and dismayed, did the best he possibly could there on the Neon. And I think leaning into the Neon is going to be a good idea for them. It was great that we saw new looks, though, from both teams. Sen also taking that time to add something new. It wasn't as wild, the Cypher deadlock, but something that they can run on a number of maps, something that Wyatt will be happy to see, maybe on Ascent or something as well.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they've been leaning heavily into it. I mean, it's listen, stage 2, it's a new era, right? I think of a bit of experimentation with the changes that we've seen, and a lot of teams, it's topsy-turvy, it's up in the air all around, but still, Sen with that clean win at the end, eventually sailing up in a 2-0. For now, though, we're going to send it down to Smidge. She's down at the stage, standing by for the Verizon post-match interview with Zelsis. Take it away.
Look what happened.
Thank you very much, Bren, and congratulations, Zelsis, as Sentinels takes down NRG 2-0. Zelsis, it's great to see you guys back here, and of course, great to see the win. Though I do have to say, I think the Sen fans were sweating a little bit at the end there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting old. I can feel it. Yeah, that game should have been a lot easier than it was, but I mean, Victor started popping off, and the calls were flowing, so they were playing really well.
Indeed, in that second half, especially on the attack side, we see what NRG can look like when they start getting that momentum. What do you think it was that made it difficult on that defense side on Sunset?
I think VALORANT is very momentum-based. They started gaining it. We got a little complacent on the 11-3. We got a little lazy. It happens. But yeah.
Indeed, and you mentioned Victor. We obviously saw the Neon, and Coach Chet was talking about how, especially with the patch, they're going to be experimenting with some creative differences. How did it feel to go up against that Neon, and do we see anything cooking on the side of Sentinels?
I mean, I'm really happy for their team in general. I think they played really well. I know they lost, but I think first match jitters for them maybe. But I think overall they'll showcase that they'll still be on top again like they once were. But yeah, Victor looked really comfortable. He was really quick with everything. I hate playing against the Neon, but I'm just glad we got the win.
Absolutely, just speed skating everywhere. I'm curious, as a player going up against NRG, obviously at this point you've played against this OG squad before. You've played against the comp as we saw it with Marved and Team in1. How does this NRG feel in comparison?
Well, Pujon definitely sucks. I love you, Pooj.
He's not concentrating right now, so you can say what you want.
I love you, Pooj. I'm sorry. No, I love these guys. I mean, I loved the roster before. I love these guys too. I mean, we're all competitors, but yeah, I'm sorry, Pujon, you're overrated.
I don't think he can hear you right now, but...
Thank God.
Well, I'm curious because obviously I know that after kickoffs and then becoming Masters Madrid champion stage 1, I mean, it felt like it was back to back to back. Didn't get enough time ahead of stage 1. And when we talked to Kaplan earlier, he was saying that it was a combination of not enough time to reset, but also just feeling like your opponents were starting to read the meta really well. Now, ahead of stage 2, do you feel like the team has had enough time to not only reset as human beings first and foremost, but also just adapt and learn new strategies?
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely think we were a little bit tired, and obviously when you're on top, everyone's watching you. Everyone's kind of playing the comps you're playing, so everyone kind of gets the gist of what you're doing. We've had some time now to rest and come up with new things and work our problems out. So hopefully we can show that Sen is still on top and make champs.
Absolutely. And now, Zelsis, sort of as a last question, now that we've had some time to see where the dust has settled after Shanghai, what are your thoughts on sort of the rankings in North American teams right now?
I mean, Sen is obviously #1, right?
There's no better answer than that. Thank you very much, Zelsis. As always, we are going to head to GB, who is standing by with John Cutie and Zekin.
That's right. So we're joined by John right now because we're waiting on Zekin to get mic'd up and to be here.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. The man of the hour has arrived.
Thank you for having us.
So he'll meander about in a little bit. So what's up, John? How you doing, buddy?
Doing good.
Yeah.
A little 2-0.
Yeah, a little 2-0.
Got a little bit stressful. Got some EG flashbacks.
Yeah.
Going through it, but at the end of the day, we secured the win. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I know you were asked this question quite a bit, but we have time to elaborate here. I mean, you were going up on the other side of the field against a quite prolific IGL. How did that? I know for you it's just another game, but seeing hey, I'm going up against a returning FNS here. Did you feel like you were coming into this one with even more confidence because you felt like maybe they weren't going to be prepped in time, or did you know hey, we got to take these guys serious? What's up, buddy? How you doing? Good to see you.
I mean, yeah, I was definitely excited to play against FNS. Obviously, he is a great IGL, and everyone loves him and stuff like that. I kind of expected the NRG to be more structured and calling-wise to be better, obviously. And I also.
Zekin's face when you said that.
I don't think you meant it.
Let me do the PR answers, man. You got it. But yeah, obviously we knew that they're gonna have way less firepower, to be honest, when they removed Demon 1 and Marved. So yeah, I was confident either way.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you find it a bit different IGLing right now, where the compositions that are getting picked, kind of the meta's really in flux, people are trying a bunch of different agents? Do you find that you have to be way more adaptive in the moment when you're calling in games? today, for instance, on that second map, that Neon comp, that's not something you run into very often.
Definitely, we make sure to prioritize the time before like we start the game to kind of talk about the comps, because like we obviously don't have any prep. Everyone's just playing some crazy comps. Even in scrims, that's something we've been practicing on. Like every time you load in, there's like some crazy comps because no one has figured the meta yet. So everyone is trying stuff. But yeah, just like it's more like adaptive for sure, and like calling on the fly, and everyone is like aware of what the comp could do to us and what we like, what their weaknesses are. So yeah.
Do you like that? Like, do you like not like just kind of being a little bit more fluid with it rather than everyone knows what they're doing, everyone knows what the meta is, but this gives you an opportunity to kind of like, you know, experiment a little bit more. Do you prefer that over like the set strategies?
Yeah, I definitely prefer that. I feel like because any like style of teams can work, even the teams like that play slow, that wants to play fast pace, anything can work. And also like, I feel like it makes it that the IGLs has more impact, especially because it's like you have to adapt. The coach only has 2 timeouts and like at the start, so like good IGLs will probably be like very valuable now, especially because the meta is like shaky.
Yeah. How's that been for you as well? Like, you know, getting into the thick of things now, and things are still shaky with the meta, but it feels like for you, you're just picking up right where you left off.
It's been fun. You know, I played Raze both of the maps, so you haven't seen me on the like new duelist yet, but it's been a lot of fun.
Will we?
Listen, I was praying on the ISO because I saw someone post a screenshot of your tracker that just has 9,000 ISO.
Spamming ISO. It's so fun.
So I saw that, so I was expecting a little bit of that today. Do you think he's ISO? And I guess we could just talk about all the duelist changes from your point of view as a duelist main. How do you feel about the new duelist updates and their place in the pro scene right now?
I think Neon probably got the like best changes out of the 3. I think she's probably the strongest out of her ISO and Reyna right now. The movement and the ability to shoot while you're sliding is like so important, and it's really big for entries. Like Neon, Victor just kind of fucked me up like at the end. So like you can see it. So you can see it.
We'll bleep
there.
that later.
ISO I think is a little tougher. His shield, like it's OP in ranked, and you can like run it down with it. But when people are like spamming smokes with phantoms and there's a lot of like chip utility and like more coordinated utility, I think he becomes a lot worse. So I think he'll probably be like he'll be used, but I think you need another duelist to supplement him. I don't think you can do him by himself.
Yeah.
And Reyna is like the exact same. Like I don't know, the change I don't think did much. She's just still Reyna. You get your 1 and you run away, and that's pretty much the same concept, even with the changes.
Gotcha. Where did you guys kind of leave off stage 1? Mentally as a team? Like, what was the conversation after your last game? And then what was the mentality coming into stage 2 before the game today?
I mean, we were definitely like sad, especially because we almost made it off 2 rounds.
Yeah.
You know how they said it's the hope that kills you?
Yeah.
So like.
So you guys were secretly hoping to go to Shanghai, even though I know you guys were also really tired.
Yeah.
Too.
I mean, yeah. At first we like accepted our fate. And I was like, wait, there's a chance. So like we kept watching, obviously. I mean, we knew that we needed a big break and like time to like reinvent ourselves for sure. But at the end of the day, we're like competitors, and I feel like I was pretty sad watching Shanghai. To be honest, I think everyone on the team are too, and it was like a kind of chip on our shoulder. Like we need to go back, and we just focus in this 5 weeks of scrims, made sure that Sentinels are back on top.
Not to put you guys on the spot here, but do you feel like if y'all were in Shanghai, it might have been, you know, Madrid Part 2? Or would you pull away from Shanghai, like from the game?
Okay.
I mean, I'm 100% win rate, so I would want it. Me personally, but.
Yeah, no, completely fair. It's completely fair. We did get a Twitch chat question, I think. It should be coming in here. There you go. It's from Tarek. Okay, yeah, I know that guy. Can Tarek play a match of VALORANT sometime? I mean, yeah, you could totally play a match of VALORANT.
Definitely, just hit my line. Just I'll co-stream and take all the revenue. Okay. You can come sweat here.
Okay,
Just
there
hit
you
my
go.
line.
So you got your answer, Tarek. You have a chance. Anything is possible if you dream and believe. So that being said, now here we are, stage 2. Are you guys? I know the overall camp. It feels confident. You know, you hear it in Celsius in the interview. Heard with you guys here as well. But was there a little bit of that nagging fear in the back of the mind where it's like, hey, we did all this stuff. We went to Madrid. We got all these points, and does it like stick back to that pressure? Do you guys feel it right now, or do you feel like you guys have each other's back effectively here?
Answer?
I wouldn't say there's that much pressure. Like I just want to play matches. I missed matches so much. We were scrimming for like 5-6 weeks, and I was like getting the itch. I was like, I want to compete. I want to compete. I want to compete. So there's pressure, but like once I get on the stage and I'm actually playing, it all just kind of goes away. I'm just really happy to be playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have some sort of advantage with the points, but at the end of the day, we just like playing the games, and it doesn't matter. Like, we obviously want to like play all these group games, go to playoff, go as first seed, go and win champs. I just want to play as much games as possible, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it shows, right? You guys look like you're having fun out there, and that's all that really matters at the end of the day. All right, well, let's go ahead, though, and take a look at the standings. See where we are right now as we just completed 2 matches here. Leviathan will be in first place. Now, remember, Crew was there before. That's 5-1 record. Of course, we'll see Crew very, very shortly. And then we have our boys over in Sentinels, 4-3, rising up. I mean, this is a close... You guys have to see these standings and be like, oh my goodness, this can go either way.
Yeah.
You know, it makes you afraid.
I can see all Group A on the left and Group B on the right. It's not looking good.
I respect that. I respect that. Yeah, well, there you go. And those are your matches are going to be coming up tomorrow. You got Furia taking on 100 Thieves, and then Loud take on EG. I'm actually quite excited for that one. What matches you guys looking forward to of the 2 tomorrow?
Game 2.
Game 2 for sure?
Game 2.
The return of Pancada.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It'll be fun. And
I can't wait.
apparently Sadak on the duelist. Maybe I can convince my team to put me on duelist if he does well.
Not happening.
Hey, not happening. You put a camera and watch us play.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. How much are you going to pay everyone off so you can be a duelist, you know?
I don't think I have the funds.
I want 50%.
I'll just stay on Cypher. I'll stay on Cypher,
70%.
man. Just leave me alone.
You're just, I mean, what is it, Shark Tank? You just keep going up in the rate there.
No deal.
Oh, man. All right, fellas, it is a joy to have you here as always. Congratulations on the win, and always looking forward to seeing what you guys do in the rest of the stage. Best of luck.
Thank you.
All right. Well, guys, that is going to do it for us here today for our entire team. We thank you so much for joining us here at VCT Americas for the launch of Stage 2. You got some big wins across the board. Leviathan picked up a dub. Sentinels picked up a dub. And we have plenty more coming at you tomorrow. So we'll see you then, folks. Have a great evening. Thank you, guys. It's the start of Stage 2. This stage is where it all comes to a head because this is where you qualify for Champion Soul. This is where you have an opportunity to lift a trophy over your head. It all starts here, and it starts with these 2 teams.
Mazin's in the back, a 1v1. Ozbot's looking to put it halfway, now taking away, he's running across. Now just with the classic, lands the kill.
Now they get to watch that attacker.
Oh. Easy kills coming through from Ozbot. You see how far back Mazin is so far, so it's up to these 2 players, and unfortunately Shazam and odds once again against Mazin. Isolating 1 and 2 kills and almost got that one against King. Only 2 players left here to take down for Leviathan to take the map. It's up to Shazam and Artazine. Mazina with the 3rd, and Leviathan fights back to win the first map of Ascent.
Paint opens it up as these last few shots to come through. Wait a minute.
2.
I take it back.
Up against the op. There's that second peek, but he will not miss a second time. Wingman gets denied here on the top of the A tower because of King's position. But Leviathan looks to be running away here with the defensive half. Clock is still ticking on that spike, and he's got the Hunter's Fury. He's just going to run back and play to his favor. There is that kill from Calm. Leviathan will then close the series 2-0 against MIBR.
It's the matchup we've all been waiting for. Sentinels versus NRG. John QT versus a returning Finesse. It doesn't get any better than this.
Gotta get bodies onto this one for any chance of winning. Sticking, crashes forwards all the way, but not enough. Celsius wraps it up. Second of a showstopper to deal with. Still, instant ult popped off. Satchels just evade him with the movement. Still, he can't evade the rocket. Wingman gonna be missing his mark, and that just leaves crashes none the wiser. Sentinels, a 13-8 finish to Lotus. From the defuse, fault line there, crashes now, has to stick this one all the way, and it needs to be defended! And Victor just looking in entirely the wrong place. Crashes now, defuse onto half as his whole body sticking this one. What do they have to push this one off? It's only bullets flying forwards and away, but still half gains. Som sticking it, and nothing to deny. Side to side, shoulder to shoulder, and with the paranoia forwards, that is pure proactivity. Can Victor find the timing? A lot lies onto this one, Victor. And they've earned themselves more breathing room. They're right at his back. And all the players and the wiser! Everybody falls!
The beautiful comeback ended very quickly in overtime.
They